Welcome to our video tutorial. In this video, we'll take a look at how to pass parameters as query string values inside a URL. This allows you to display information that corresponds to the ID or value being passed. The benefit is that you can show the correct record while also pulling in related data from other tables that share the same ID. Let's go inside Caspio and let's learn how we can pass parameters as query string values inside the URL. To begin, what you want to create as part of your initial setup are two different data pages. One that's going to list your contacts, and then you also have the contact details data page. So what's going to happen is when you click on the link for each contact, you're going to pass the contact ID, and then you're going to display the information pertaining to that contact. Now, in order for this to work, you will need to create two different web pages. In my example, I have a web page called Manage Contacts, and I've deployed this data page into that web page, and I also have contact details where I've deployed my contact details data page. If you look at my live example, you will see the list of my contacts, and what I want to happen is when I click on each one of these contacts, there will be a link here. Once I click on that link, it's going to redirect me to the details for that specific contact. It doesn't work at the moment, so let's see how we can connect both of these two data pages. Let's go back to Caspio and let's go ahead and edit Manage Contacts. And I will simply navigate to Configure Results Page fields. And what you need to do is insert what's called an HTML block. Now, I always like to move that HTML block underneath all of my fields. And to create that hyperlink, it's very, very simple. Let's just call it details. You can call it whatever you want. I'll highlight my text. I'll click on the link button. And then you need to input your destination URL. In other words, when I click on that link, I need to go to the web page that's going to have the contact details. So in my live example, I will simply copy the link at the very top because that's where I've embedded my contact details. I'll paste that link. And at the very end of your URL, you need to add a little bit of syntax in order to pass the ID. So you begin by adding a question mark to initiate the string. And then you're going to call your parameter whatever you want. It's completely up to you. In this case, I'm passing the contact ID, so I will just abbreviate that as CID. You add the equal sign, and at the end, you're going to simply just pass whatever information you want when you click on that contact. So in this case, I want to pass the contact ID, click OK, and you will see it here at the very end. Now, you can also pass multiple values by adding an ampersand. Perhaps you want to pass the first name, let's say FN, equal sign, and then you're simply going to insert the first name if you wish to pass that as well. So now we're passing two bits of information in the URL. We pass the contact's ID, and we also pass the first name. Now for today's video, we're simply going to pass the contact ID. So I will remove everything after that and click OK and click Finish. Now when I refresh my results page, you will see that details link at the very end. It doesn't work at the moment because I now need to receive that contact ID in my details page. So let's set up that data page as well. Let's edit. And as you can see, I'm using a details data page. We're going to click Next. It's based off of the same table. You need to make sure you select this radio button to filter data based on a predefined criteria. And the field that you want to filter on is going to be the contact ID because that's the value that we pass from the results page. We click Next, and now we need to set up the configuration on this window. So what you do is you go to the Advanced tab, you say Receive the value, External parameter, and you have to make sure you call it the same exact way, which was CID, and value must be required for security reasons. You have to pass the correct ID of that contact in order to view the information that belongs to that contact. You can now click Next. You can include what fields you would like to have in the details page. And once you've modified your details page, you can go ahead and click Finish. I will close the second tab. I no longer need that. So now when I reload my page, and if I click on the details, let's say for Rhiannon, I will see the details for that specific contact. If I go back and I click on Oscar, I will now see Oscar's information in the details view. Now imagine if you had other tables that share that same ID that you passed in the URL. You can now build and display more information pertaining to that contact as long as you have that contact ID stored in separate tables. Just to give you an example, you might have logs, you might have deals, because when you submit a deal or you submit a log, you're also stamping that contact ID in those other tables. And that's what gives you the ability to now display information that share the same exact ID that you just passed in the URL. That concludes our tutorial on how to pass parameters as query string values. I hope that you enjoyed the video. For additional information, please check out our knowledge base at howto.caspio.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.